Hello, good afternoon, welcome. Welcome to this beautiful church, Westminster Presbyterian Church, downtown Sacramento, by Capitol Park, in this gorgeous sanctuary, I believe from 1927, where you're going to hear music that spans the ages today. A very special thank you to the staff here at the church and our representatives today from Women's Empowerment, for whom part of the proceeds go, and Partnern aller Nationen in Vienna for all their support for today's concert. Very special thank you to staff Portia and Rula for helping make this possible. This is International Women's Day concert, fundraiser concert, on March 6th, and live stream, live in person. We're so happy to welcome people to the church today in person, and you can watch live stream on the church's YouTube Westmin Sac channel, and please share with your friends and family, especially on Tuesday the 8th for International Women's Day. Today's today's program features musicians who are local here to the Sacramento area, and we'll hear also from a couple of reps from Women's Empowerment, an organization here in town who's also part of the outreach for the mission for the church, who's getting supported by today's proceeds. I am Solma Zardelli, a member of this beautiful church, and I'm very, very happy to be here today and to host this concert together with Lee Hoffman, who is the music director here. And we will start with some music from France.
Hello, my name is Clara Abrahams, and I will be performing Liebst du Schönheit by Clara Schumann. Clara Schumann was a piano prodigy who began touring at 11, and she wrote this song as a gift for her husband, Robert, and published it a year after they got married in a set of 3. The composition is all about honest and sincere love and affection. and I'm named after her.
Thank you. Aiden Barbuda started out today on a piece from France on the harp, and Clara with Clara Schumann's piece, and then her brother Andrew, a beautiful guitar solo from Austria, Hungary, Italy. So we have international women composers today. I would like now to bring to the stage Ms. Schwartz, who is the program director for Women's Empowerment. Today's fundraiser for International Women's Day. Proceeds will go to our beautiful young and talented musicians and Women's Empowerment here in Sacramento. And I'd like Ms. Schwartz to give us some words and some background about this beautiful organization.
Thank you all for coming. Yes, thank you all for coming. Oh, sorry. Thank you all for coming, and thank you for those at home that are tuning in. We really appreciate your support. Women's Empowerment is a nonprofit that's been in Sacramento for over 20 years, and our mission, I'm going to get this right, is to educate and empower women who are experiencing homelessness with the skills and confidence necessary to get a job, maintain a healthy lifestyle, and regain a home for themselves and their children. If you drive around Sacramento, as I do, it probably appears to you that there is a lot more homelessness than there used to be. And some people may say, we've increased minimum wage so much, it must just be that people don't want to work. And I'm here to tell you that's not the case. If you think about ancient history in 2019, literally, in 2019, a minimum wage job, if you worked 40 hours a week, would qualify you for a one-bedroom apartment in Sacramento. Now that is not the case. Now if you got a minimum wage job, you would need to work about 60 hours a week to get that same one-bedroom apartment. And that's not just a matter of how you budget. That's a matter of, would the landlord qualify you for the apartment? And so we're finding that if people get a minimum wage job and work full-time, that means they can afford a room in a house, or maybe something called an SRO, a standing room, a single room occupancy. A single room occupancy is basically like half of a college dormitory room. It has a sink that's a combination of your kitchen and your bathroom sink. And then you go down the hall for a shared bathroom experience. And that will cost you in Sacramento today $780 a month. So that is why we are having such a challenge of homelessness right now. And Women's Empowerment strives to give the women not just a job readiness program, which we've done for 20 years, but advanced training and connections to partnerships we have with advanced manufacturing industry leaders, so that we can get them on a track to what they need to be able to afford a one-bedroom apartment, which is $23 to $25 an hour, not minimum wage of $14 or $15 an hour. So your support today is something we very much appreciate. We want to get more women the homes that they deserve and are working to achieve. So thank you so much for your time and support. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for enlightening us and letting us get to know women's empowerment and the organization much better. This next piece is a traditional American spiritual. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. And this arrangement is one we have come up together with Julian Summer on cello and Lee Hoffman playing the piano. This is a la Lee and Julian and Solmaz, I think.
was new for me to actually find hope by finding a new perspective. That was actually a new tool for me. So rising sun, looking at a dark sky and seeing the stars and realizing that to someone else, somewhere else in the cosmos, that star could be a rising sun. So this is Rising Sun. Where are you? There you are. You can see the stars when it is dark. The moon is brighter too. Don't be afraid of the dark. From here a star seems so far away, just a pinpoint of light. But look around you, it's not the only one. And when the darkness comes, just remember you're free to be in a quiet place to find the thoughts that are forgotten in the midst of the rush of a busy, busy day. Life is always changing as the world turns. You wake up in the morning to a brand new day. It's a fresh chance, a new opportunity. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. The universe is full of stars, and here you are. There is a light in the dark, and you can see. Life is always changing as the world turns. You wake up in the morning to a brand new day. Yeah, it's a fresh chance, a new opportunity. You can see the stars when it is dark. The moon is brighter too. Don't be afraid of the dark. From here a star seems so far away, just a pinpoint of light. But look for one that could be a rising sun. Look for one that could be a rising sun. Look for one that could be a rising sun.
Beautiful. We have a living woman composer here with us today. This next song is also by a living woman composer, Diana Rowan. She lives now in Berkeley. She's from Ireland. And this is Live Without Thought of Dying. The lyrics are from Catherine of Siena, an Italian mystic, and music by Diana Rowan, who's also a harpist. So Aiden and I will perform this arrangement for harp and voice. Thank you, Aiden and Andrew. So today's music features lots of beautiful, young, talented local musicians, Clara and Aiden Andrew and Julian. Aiden and Andrew will indeed be performing again on NPR's From the Top on next Sunday the 13th, for those of you who like to tune in. Bravi, exactly. We'd like to bring I think a recent graduate from Women's Empowerment up to stage right now to give us a little background about her experience, both with the organization and as a graduate of the program. Today's fundraiser concert for International Women's Day proceeds goes towards the young local musicians and women's empowerment. Please come on stage, and I'll pass this to you. We'd love to hear from you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Hello, I feel honored to be here today. My name is Christy Shearer, and I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm a proud graduate of Women's Empowerment Session 84. I know I speak for staff and students alike when I thank you all for presenting this amazing concert to raise funds for women's empowerment. Thank you. When I came to women's empowerment last fall, I came bearing the scars and trauma of homelessness and hopelessness that I had experienced in life. I thought that I had just signed up for a job readiness program, but what I found at Women's Empowerment was much more than that. It is a community of trauma-informed, well-educated, and empowering staff and volunteers. At Women's Empowerment, I learned necessary social skills like maintaining healthy boundaries and how to communicate effectively. I remember leaving my little baby at the child care center that first day, taking into account my life experiences. That was very emotional and even scary. The child care provider and social worker at Women's Empowerment helped mediate weekly conferences to help me overcome my fears. They modeled an effective way to communicate with more intention and less emotion, and that helped me to become a better advocate for my children. Thank you for that. I also gained many necessary skills to take me back into the workforce. I left Women's Empowerment confident, with a career wardrobe and an employment portfolio that included my master application, cover letter, and resume. I learned interview techniques, culminating in a mock interview day with community volunteers. And I recall midway through mock interview day, I felt defeated. But I put my self-doubt aside and listened to the feedback I was getting. My last interview went well. I remember thinking to myself that day, I wonder how many times I had quit in life right before the good part. But I must say that having a supportive community by your side makes all the difference. I truly believe that is what sets women's empowerment apart. Their unique and holistic approach fosters a sisterhood. It was a safe place for me to process the trauma and mentally prepare me for a brighter future. And it is a lifetime network of supportive and training services for their graduates. Encourage, educate, and empower. Today, I am back in school. I'm completing my degree in sociology. I'm also completing an internship with the California State Assembly Member's Office, Kevin McCarty. And I'm happy to share with you all that after taking the Ready to Rent program and working closely with the Women's Empowerment Housing Specialist, my family is transitioning out of homelessness. We are getting the keys to our apartment in 2 weeks. For the first time in my life, I'm excited about what the future holds for my children and myself. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today and being a part of my family's success by supporting women's empowerment. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. It's a very beautiful story, a moving story that you shared with all of us. I think you'll notice the program today, the music, the speakers, the musicians. It's all a little bit prayer-like and hopefully invoking a meditative experience for you all, musically, spiritually, emotionally, especially in this beautiful sanctuary where all the music comes alive, everyone's voice comes alive, everyone's story comes alive. I believe the next song is Juhi's piece, Night Wears Black. Yes, so Juhi Bansal is from Hong Kong and India, and she is another living woman composer. She lives down in Los Angeles now. She's teaching down there. And this piece, she wrote 2 arrangements, one for voice only and one for voice, cello, and handbells. So this is Night Wears Black. This is in English set to old Farsi text from Rumi, Persian mystic poet. And Juhi's notes on this piece are that it should be performed and experienced by the audience in a ritualistic, prayer-like fashion, that it's supposed to be meditative and reminiscent of Indian folk music. I would, however, like to take a moment now before we perform this prayer-like piece to take a moment of silence for those suffering in the Ukraine. At this moment, I know we have some colleagues here in the audience from Ukraine. I'm sure many of us have personal stories, friends and colleagues, family members, maybe even who are there. We have family friends who have, in fact, driven into the mountains, and we haven't heard from them for a few days. So I think this would be a very appropriate time to take a minute to pray and to think, meditate, however you feel comfortable, and think of those in the Ukraine before we perform Night Wears Black by Juhi Bansal. Thank you. So today's concert for International Women's Day fundraiser concert, proceeds go towards women's empowerment of Sacramento and the young talented musicians we have here today. Aiden and Andrew Barbuda, a duo. Julian playing cello, duo harp and guitar, Julian playing cello, and Clara, a soprano, who sang a beautiful Clara Schumann piece for us. I'd like to reiterate that all the music today was performed was written by women composers, except the song "Women of Ireland," written by a man. But we appreciate his support in writing this beautiful song, "Women of Ireland," that the duo performed together. Please donate today to women's empowerment and the musicians by donating to Westminster Presbyterian Sacramento. It's westminsac.org, I believe. There's ways to donate online. I know there's many of you on YouTube watching. Thank you for watching and chatting and supporting today's event. And thank you very much. Very exciting that we have people in person in the pews in this sanctuary today. We welcome a short Q&A with the musicians afterwards. This last piece that Lee and I will perform, "Is There Anybody Here That Loves My Jesus?" is a very beautiful spiritual written in the 80s. So we have spanned almost 500 years in today's program, and I think Lee would like to say something about this particular piece.
To the unknown, dangers where they may or may not get help. And you think of the Underground Railroad, and you think of Harriet Tubman, that woman that we all know about in history, who did so much to reach out and connect people with life. And so this Undine Smith Moore, herself a granddaughter of slaves, she was known as the Dean of Black Women Composers. She is Dr. Undine Smith Moore, a professor, and she wrote another piece that I love very much, "Watch and Pray," where a child is asking her mother, "Mama, is Massa going to sell us tomorrow?" And the mother says, "Yes, watch and pray." So we have this song, "Is There Anybody Here Who Loves My Jesus?" By Undine Smith Moore. Very fitting that we are including these spirituals as a body of song that really is about resilience and making a way for people to find freedom. I want to thank Solas for this opportunity. Thank you, Portia, also. Thank you, Portia, back there, at the sound booth. And also running live stream. But I thank you for doing this, having music of this quality and for this intent in this space is exactly what this space is for. And so we want to do more of that.
Anybody here that loves my Jesus?
Thank you. Clara and Aiden, Andrew and Julian. And no, we want the old, no. We want the seasoned musicians as well, especially those wearing fabulous scarves. Thank you. Yes, please, everyone come up. And please, one more time, join us on stage. Beautiful. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Thank you again to the staff here at Westminster Presbyterian Church for their support and women's empowerment, and a partner I have in Vienna who helps a lot with putting on concerts and Q&A sessions and, so to speak, with musicians, Partnern aller Nationen in Vienna. Thank you to everyone out there watching on YouTube, and most importantly, everyone here who came in person today to get some live music again in this beautiful sanctuary. I'm Solma Zadeli. I'd like everyone to maybe introduce themselves shortly and say maybe their favorite thing about their instrument, why they chose that instrument, and I'd like to open up the floor for conversation and some questions with the artists. Please, one more time, say your names and your story behind women's empowerment, just a short blurb so we have a recap, especially for those tuning in on YouTube. I know there are many people out there, and I think Rula is checking the chat as well. So let me start here maybe by, yes, why don't we start over there? Perfect.
Hello, I'm Dr. Stacy Hunt. Sorry, I'm Dr. Stacy Hunter Schwartz, and I'm the Program Director at Women's Empowerment, and we do 4 times a year an 8 or 9 week job readiness program for women experiencing homelessness. We provide childcare and all kinds of services so that we try to remove the barriers to housing.
Thank you, Ms. Schwartz.
Hello, I'm Christy Shearer. I'm a graduate of Women's Empowerment, and I thank you all for your support and for being here today.
Thank you for being here. It's good to meet you. I'm Lee Hoffman. I'm the Director of Choirs here at Westminster, and I'm very happy to have been able to share this experience with my sister, who is my favorite person on the planet.
So Lee has always been the voice. I chose the flute because it fits in my backpack, and I'm very honored to be here today. This
Thank
is
you.
an excellent, so very proud of you.
Yes.
My name is Clara Abrahams. I'm a singer, and I'm very honored to be here, so thank you for inviting me. I think my favorite thing about performing and singing is just the community it brings together, and how many emotions it can bring about.
My name is Aiden Barbuda, and I chose the classical guitar because it's an easy instrument to carry around and it's a fun instrument to play.
Hi, my name is Aiden Barbuda. I did not choose the instrument that is very packable, but I chose it because I was inspired by the story of David in the Bible and how he used the harp to calm like others in playing it, and that really inspired me to play the harp.
Hi, I'm Julian Summer, and I think a big part of why I like cello is just how versatile it is in terms of what groups you can play with, as exemplified by today, playing with piano voice and handbells. So.
And handbells, Debbie, a member of our congregation here, who played 3 handbells, which she was like, oh yeah, that's easy. So thank you so much for playing 3, and she has her whole case over there. I think she also plays with the handbell choir. Captain, exactly. Thank you. Thank you. We'd like to open up for questions now. Maybe you have some questions for musicians, questions for Ms. Shearer and Ms. Schwartz. Please, don't be shy. Rula's got a microphone. She's going to come around. You don't have to come up here. You can ask questions from the pews. I know there's going to be some. Yeah? We've got a shy group today. There we are.
Is women's empowerment able to provide any housing for their participants while they're being trained?
The question was, is women's empowerment able to provide any housing for the women while they're being trained? The answer is that used to be a lot easier than it is now. I have been there since last July, and I understand that years ago, just about every person at Women's Empowerment would get housing. If you got a voucher, you could get housing. If you needed to go to a shelter, there was an opening in the shelter. Now that's not the case. There are waiting lists to get I think now if you signed up, but they closed the list, to get a housing voucher at something like 29,000 something. So it might take you 5 to 8 years to get housing. You could get a shelter bed probably sooner, but it might take you 2 to 3 months. So the answer is no, not everybody is able to get housing while they're in the program. Some people are living in tents or living in cars or what we call couch surfing.
So I would just like to add that Women's Empowerment does like to help women find jobs where they will be able to be self-sufficient and not rely on a shelter or a housing voucher. So that is one amazing thing about Women's Empowerment.
We had a question.
I was just wondering if anyone had anything to say about their favorite music teacher.
Oh, I like that. Who's a woman or not a woman?
Yes, my voice teacher is wonderful, Alina Ilchuk. She is here. She's been supporting me for about almost 2 years. We met early in 2020 and were able to have a few lessons in person before everything shut down. But she's been very supportive. We've come a long way, and I'm very grateful for her.
I can say something too. My teacher is Scott Camille. He lives in San Francisco. I kind of switched from a previous teacher kind of midway through the pandemic, so we never really had a chance to be in person, but it's probably going to happen soon. He's just an awesome teacher. He's always supported me. He's always telling me what could be better and what to improve, and so I'm not always stuck in the same place, and I'm always moving forward. So I really appreciate his work with me.
I have gone through quite a few teachers because they all moved away at almost like the exact same time. But the teacher that's helped me the most is Dr. Beverly Westner-Hone. She is my harp mentor. She's helped me through all of my intense orchestra pieces I've learned. She's actually the one that inspired my brother and I to start our duo together. And I think my favorite part about her is how she's strict but yet fun at the same time, because she really gets you to practice but in a fun way. So I really like that about her.
It's hard to know exactly what to say except immense gratitude to all of my teachers. It's a very special relationship, and I feel very fortunate that I've had teachers that have been so talented but also so supportive of me. And now that I think of it, most of them have actually been women too. That's a side note. So.
Thank you. Great question.
I can't see any questions on the chat.
We can take one more question.
Anybody? All right.
Anybody here? Yeah.
I had a question. I had a question to Mrs. Lee Hoffman. I appreciated you sharing a part of your history and part of your identity in the song. And I was curious about Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. I have my own theory, but I want to hear from you. What is kind of the meaning? Why is that there?
I think there's a connection to childhood, something simple, and just this feeling that stars seem to be so tiny. And when I was in a place of hopelessness, I felt just so tiny and so far away from what I felt connected to. And so it was like being able to sing to what felt like someone. I was singing to the star. And yeah, that's...
And it's a melody by Mozart.
Well, there's
So,
that too.
you know.
Yes, I wanted to.
You
make
can
sure
always
to
throw that in for a
I wanted
little
to
salt and pepper.
Incorporate Mozart into the piece. I didn't know. It was an assignment. No, okay. Okay. Is that it? Yes. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Rula. Good question. And thank you again, Lee, to providing some music that she wrote herself. Rising Sun was written by Lee Hoffman in the 90s, I believe. 1988. So we had two American songs from the 80s today. Thank you all so much for being here today. I'm Solmaz Adeli, and we have lots of beautiful musicians and women's empowerment representatives here today. Special thank you to all of them for helping make this happen. Without the music, without the audience, without the beautiful sanctuary, none of this could happen. Very special thank you to Rula and Portia and all the staff here, some staff in the back taking care of my son. So childcare and everybody, it takes, lots of women it takes the whole village of women to make something happen like this, especially in these trickier times for all of us. So may you be well, may you stay well, and please, I encourage you to donate to women's empowerment and the musicians today. Thank you for coming out. Happy, healthy International Women's Day 2022, and feel free to come say hi after the concert. I'd love to chat. Thank you.